Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. There is a single night that divides all of history into a before and an after. A night when one word, spoken in the darkness of a mountain cave, began to change the course of the world. This is the story of the first revelation, the opening verses of Surah Al Alaq, and the night the Qur'an began. Picture Arabia, 14 centuries ago, a land of endless deserts and clear, star-filled skies, of proud tribes and ancient trade routes winding between the dunes. At its heart stood the city of Mecca, gathered around a sacred house that had been raised long ago for the worship of the one God, which yet now stood, ringed by hundreds of idols. It was an age later remembered as Jahiliyyah, an age of ignorance, and yet in that very city lived a man known to everyone as Al-Amin, the trustworthy, the honest one, a man whose heart could find no rest amid the injustice and emptiness around him. That man was Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the son of Abdullah. As the years passed, he found himself drawn away from the noise of the city and towards the silence of the mountains. On the edge of Mecca rises a peak called Jabal an-Nur, the Mountain of Light, and near its summit lies a small, bare cave called Hira. There he would withdraw for days at a time, carrying simple provisions prepared by his devoted wife Khadija, to worship, to reflect, and to search for the truth his people had forgotten. Alone in that cave, far above the idols of the valley, he worshipped the Creator alone. It was during the month of Ramadan, on one such night of solitude, that everything changed. The cave was still, the city slept far below, and into that stillness came a presence unlike anything in the world of men, an angel Jibril alayhi wasallam, sent by the Lord of the heavens and the earth, carrying the first words that Allah would reveal to humanity in more than 600 years. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Iqra. بسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. The angel came to him and gave a simple command, Iqra, read, recite. But Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was unlettered. He had never been taught to read, and, and so he answered, in truth and in awe, I am not one who can read. And then the angel embraced him and pressed him until he could bear no more, then released him and said again, read. Again he replied, I am not one who can read. A second time the angel pressed him, and the third, until upon the third release the words came, and these were the first words of the Qur'an. Read, in the name of your Lord who created. The first command of the entire Qur'an is to read, to seek knowledge, but notice, it is knowledge anchored from its very first breath in the name of your Lord. He created the human being from a clinging clot, from alaqa, a tiny speck that clings to the wall of the womb. The same revelation that calls you to the heights of knowledge first reminds you how small and humble your beginning truly was. Majesty and humility, placed side by side in two short verses. Consider for a moment the weight of what is being said to a man who could not read in a society where almost no one could. The first word sent down from the heavens is read. Not conquer, not rule, not fight, but read. A faith whose very foundation is the pursuit of knowledge, forever rooted in the one who gives it. Everything that Islam would later become, its law, its mercy, its civilization, was built upon this first stone. Read, and your Lord is the most generous. He who thought by the pen taught the human being what he did not know. The pen, the simple instrument that captures knowledge and carries it across generations. Every book ever written, every truth ever preserved, and passed down, flows from the one who thought by the pen, and who teaches us what we could never have discovered on our own. From the first word to the fifth, it's this revelation is about light entering the darkness of ignorance. When the revelation ceased, Muhammad ﷺ was left trembling. The sheer weight of what had happened shook him to his core. He left the cave and made his way down the mountain, his heart pounding, not yet understanding all that had taken place, only that something immense and overwhelming had entered his life, and and would never leave it. He hurried home to Hatija, his body still shaking. Cover me, he said. She wrapped him with a cloak and held him close until the fear began to settle. And when he had calmed himself, he told her everything that had happened in the cave and confided to her, I fear for myself. When Hatija spoke words that history would never forget, by Allah, she said, Allah will never disgrace you. You keep the ties of kinship, you carry the burdens of the weak, you give to those who have nothing, you honor your guests, and you stand beside people in their times of hardship. She did not doubt him for a single moment. The first soul to believe in the Prophet ﷺ was his own wife, a steadfast flame of faith burning in the darkness of that night. Seeking to understand, Hatija brought him to her cousin, Waraka ibn Nawfal, an old man, now blind, who had studied the earlier scriptures and knew the signs of the prophethood. When Waraka heard the account, he answered without hesitation, this is the same Namus, the same angel that Allah once sent to Musa. I wish I were younger. I wish I could still be alive when your own people drive you out. The Prophet ﷺ was startled. Will they drive me out? Yes, said Waraka. No man has ever brought what you have brought without being opposed. And so it began. From a small, bare cave on the mountain of light, a message was born. One that would call a people back from idols to worship the one God, back from ignorance to knowledge, from darkness to light. The road ahead would not be gentle. It held rejection, persecution, and exile. But the dawn had broken now, and nothing in the world could undo it. Over the next 23 years, the revelation would continue to descend, verse after verse, surah after surah, until the entire Qur'an was complete. But all of it began here, with 5 short verses in the darkness of Hira. From that single seed, a light spread outward that would cross continents and centuries, reaching into the hearts of more than 1 billion people, and into your heart tonight. So remember, always where it began, the first word that Allah revealed to all of humanity was not a call to conquer, it was read. A faith founded upon knowledge, upon the pen, upon learning what we did not know, upon lifting our eyes from the dust of our humble origins to the majesty of our Creator. May Allah open our hearts to His words and teach us what we do not know. Surah Al Alaq, the first revelation.